It's a perfect day to talk to our in-house law firm. Neal Katyal is the former acting U.S. Solicitor General. Andrew Weissman is the former General Counsel at the FBI and a senior member of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team. He's also the co-author of a brand new book you may have heard and you may have even purchased, given how well it's doing, called The Trump Indictments, the Historic Charging Documents with Commentary. Okay, Neal, lots to get to. So let me start with you. James has already filed the judgment in Westchester County. That makes people kind of excited, where Trump has two properties. One, this is a two-parter. Does this mean the seizures are imminent? And what else do you expect to see tomorrow if Trump doesn't deliver on the money he owes?
So, Jen, there's a reason why I think some people are calling Donald Trump Don Corleone right now, and it's because he's kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth. His lawyers say he can't get the money in time. He's getting on Truth Social, his social media platform, and saying he can. These things don't make much sense together. And it's kind of a microcosm of the way what got Trump into trouble in the first place, which is lying about his assets. And now he's kind of doing the same thing just over the last week. So I think tomorrow, look, this is not some immediate process where Tish James is going to walk into 40 Wall Street on Tuesday and change the locks or something like that. The seizure process takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. Trump owns all this with a web of LLCs, but I expect what to happen tomorrow is liens filed on any other properties that she hasn't already sought liens on. She's already done so with Westchester properties, and then a process to begin. She'll also, I suspect, file bank levies to take Trump's bank money. That process can occur more quickly. Now, what Trump's going to do in the interim, he's going to try and go to the New York appeals court to stop this. I don't expect that to succeed, but he'll try. He also may try and file a federal lawsuit. That'll go nowhere fast.
A lot to watch tomorrow. Everybody has to have their Wheaties. So, Andrew, as I was just saying, and Neal, my goodness, alluded to, Neal, I'm so sorry. Neal alluded to, Trump's been posting on Truth Social at all hours of the day about how he has almost $500 million, like that he has the money in cash, which undercuts, of course, his lawyers' claim that he can't comply with this judgment. Is there any world, there's lots of ways to get a bond, to pay this, but is there any way that he wouldn't have to fork over that money if he actually had it?
Well, he does have a pending motion in court where the court could lower the bond amount. But, if you actually have your lawyers in court saying you need to do that because I can't pay, but you are publicly saying you can pay, just imagine if you're the judge in that matter, what you're going to do. You're not going to say, gee, maybe I should lower this amount because he can't pay when he's publicly saying the opposite of what his lawyers would say. Any other person, there would be sanctions here. And just to Neal's point, I totally agree with what he said, but one other thing that Tish James can do is she can attach all sort of incoming money to Donald Trump. So a lot of what he has is rental income, royalty income, those kind of income streams. And if you think about that in terms of like a human body,
she can seize that?
She can take that immediately so that those income streams, those can be essentially, instead of going to Donald Trump, those go to the New York Fisc, which is what she represents. That's like taking sort of the arteries and clogging them off so that there's no money flow into the Trump organization. Instead, all of that money, what he says is sort of other people's money that's coming in from his licensing deals, all of that gets restrained and can go to pay off the judgment. And that is money that really may be very necessary for Donald Trump in order to continue sort of leveraging all of his other assets, because he has all these outstanding loans. And that's something that can happen quickly.
That's interesting. It's like he has a cash crunch problem. So that's a really interesting detail I didn't know. Okay, Neal, one thing we almost forget, even though there's so much to watch tomorrow, is that the first criminal trial was supposed to start tomorrow. It was postponed because federal prosecutors, of course, gave a new pile of evidence to Trump's teams just weeks before the trial was supposed to start. I don't know if you can answer why they waited so long, but how long do you expect? We could learn the new trial date. So how long do you expect this to be pushed out? Past mid-April? Longer? How long do they need?
Yeah, I don't think they need very long. It's true that there were a huge number of documents, maybe even 100,000, that were turned over. Almost all of them were irrelevant according to the prosecution's filing in the case. It's just a couple of 100 pages. So I don't expect a long delay in this process. Trump's lawyers are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And I suspect we will see a trial beginning in about a month by the Manhattan District Attorney. And that's a criminal trial against Donald Trump for the payments to Stormy Daniels.
All right, we're going to go to Florida before we go here. So, Andrew, there's this question about Trump's trial on charges that he mishandled classified documents. I mean, the judge presiding over this case, Aileen Cannon, flummoxed judges, not my words, and lawyers this week when she gave both sides 2 weeks to craft jury instructions around competing interpretations of the Presidential Records Act. Explain to us why that is so peculiar, and tell us, what does it tell us about where Judge Cannon stands right now?
Well, the backdrop is, remember, that she has been reversed not once but twice by the 11th Circuit for getting the law wrong, and consistently the law wrong in favor of Donald Trump. Here, leaving aside that she's asking for jury instructions, but she hasn't set the new trial date. So it's, I mean, Neal can attest, and I can, that that's very unusual to be asked about formulating jury instructions when you don't even have a trial date. But leaving that timing aside, her two options that she proposed were both legally wrong. And they were both requested by Donald Trump at the hearing. And she then said, okay, government, you have to give those two alternatives. Both of them are legally wrong. He is charged with a criminal statute, and what she asked was for the government to brief a civil Presidential Records Act statute, which is a civil statute that has nothing to do with the criminal charges here. The main issue is, for Jack Smith, is where does he think he has the best shot to get back to the 11th Circuit, because this really cannot go on any longer.
Neal, Katyal, Andrew Weissman, thank you as always. We went quite around the world there. Appreciate you joining me this afternoon so much, as always.
If it makes you feel any better, I have already put evac on alert. He's ready to go if it comes to that. General, I can assure you.
Hey, General, let me into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Wheelie.
So, come on, what is it now, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah, I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I was so damn good on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What? Who's the insect?
Protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
The Megatron.
This was just a diversion. Security teams bring up. Rabbit, she's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. Boss readiness. What was his name?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We're facing a heavy, sustained attack. They appear to be after the Allspark. General! General! Need to immediately. Hold on. National security advisory.